made by Daughtry, Eastman said. Some might say that the auditor is someone who knows about accounting practices and not policy. Others say, what's the harm? Schneider offered some further background. She agreed with Wright that the auditor said he would come back, saying she remembered that there was a question about Montrose. However, she noted that the auditor's answer at the time was that he does not do an analysis of how we are spending the money. Schneider said that while the auditor could help with questions about how pensions work, he probably would not be able to answer questions about how we are spending the money unless you want to pay him to do an analysis. In addition, Schneider assured the board we can get you those numbers in terms of pension that is in the audit. She added that the reform that is being suggested and that is being analyzed right now is changing a lot of things. It's changing the way the pensions are done. It's changing the way health benefits are done. It's looking at the fact that health benefits would be less of an offering and that the district would have savings in health benefits that would offset the cost of pension. There are a lot of different things that are in that reform, and I don't know that I could tell you what the ramifications would be at the end of the day. Wright said, I'm really surprised that people have an issue with the auditor coming back at no charge. Transparency is very, very important to me. It's a long article. I'd rather hear it. I really would. We could, try to cue it up.
No, we can't cue it up.
Oh, come on.
No,
come on, Anselm.
We can't get it.
Well, what do you think about that? Should they just bring an auditor back, or do you want to continue the reading? How do you want to do that?
And a bunch of bunglers. I'm not interested. I'm telling you. I told you that. It's the Board of Education circus. It continues. You know what? I'm saddened that they keep proving me correct day in and day out. Not just the Board of Education, but the township committees as well. And we're going to get to that soon. They just keep proving me correct day in and day out. Here we have a bunch of bunglers. Not Joanna Wright.
Bunglers. What do you mean by, what does this mean?
Bunglers?
Yes. Is this a word you're making up?
I made it up.
I can understand what you're trying to.
Yeah, but
what two words you
get the gist
together?
You get the gist of what I'm saying. Bunglers. Instead of jugglers.
Yeah, it's just a juggling, bumbling, and bumping.
Bunglers.
And,
bunglers. Yeah, bunglers.
Goofiness.
A bunch of bunglers. That's what we have. We have a bunch of bunglers in the Board of Education. They just can't get it right. They can't. Why? I keep telling you. Why would
you know what? Because this is people work in organizations. And so you have different people with different personalities. And some of them,
look at
want to make
Wright.
Things. I know.
She's left out in the dust. She wants transparency and accountability, and board members be out. I don't know what's bringing back. Okay, let's get the auditor via a conference call. Let's get him via a video conference. Let's just. We don't have to pay him, do you? Do we have to? No, we don't have to pay him.
You don't have to pay him.
We don't have to pay him. A bunch of bunglers. I mean, we need to call the Board of Education circus. We need to change it.
We need to find the right word you're looking for.
The BOEC. That's what we need to call them. The BOEC. The Board of Education Circus. Or the SOM, BOEC. The South Orange Redwood Board of Education Circus. It's a bunch of circus. Bunglers. You know what? There's the circus that comes to Newark. What's the name of that circus? What's the name of the circus that comes to Newark?
So many, Barnum Bailey.
No, that's too good. That's
Cirque du Soleil.
Those are too good.
The Negroes.
Yeah, the Negro circus. That's the one. That's the one. Where they have the cheap popcorn. That's the one we got to send them to.
No, that's what's missing from the Board of Ed meetings is the popcorn. So.
Yeah, we got to give them some popcorn and tell them, listen, we just went to the circus. We bought this for you from the circus.
Peanuts.
Yeah, listen, we got this popcorn here for you, man. It's popping. Really?
All right.
An audit?
I'm gonna read two more paragraphs.
But no. But let me hear what I just read this what is Stephanie Lawson not to say? No, not Stephanie Lawson. Don't get upset. No, what's her name is? I'm not picking on you now.
While you're looking, Pi said
the new young lady. What's her name?
Personally, I haven't heard anything from her. She didn't say
No, she did make a statement.
in here, inside of this article?
Yeah, she made a statement. She made a statement.
Well, I'll do pie. Personally, I don't see any need. I'm all for the process, but let's not get in the way. If Miss Wright has questions, can't we just facilitate her getting them answered? Wright said, I repeat, I have asked for information and have not been able to receive it after going over things over and over again. I can ask for information from the auditor, and I've been able to get it. I can't get information from the administration. Mr. Eastman Mr. Eastman can tell you, and the state says that I can have it. I've even had board members say that I can't have. I've even had board members say that I can't have the information. If that's a problem, bringing an auditor back, what does it say about transparency? Lots of people voted for me to be in the spot, Wright said. My questions have not been answered.
Yeah, I was just looking for that other young lady. She made a statement.
I'm looking.
What's her name again? It's not Elizabeth Baker.
I know the other. Don't do that to me. You're supposed to know this kind of stuff.
Donna Smith.
Donna Smith.
Board member Donna Smith.
The woman didn't say anything in this article.
She said something.
Okay, I'm looking. We got Lawson Muhammad.
She did say something.
Wright answered this question saying that she had asked last year if the budget process began sooner. Now we don't have time. She added, if I ask for a photocopy, I have the right to have that information, and I'd like to see the resolution that says a board member can be denied information from another board member, which supersedes what the state says. Do we have that resolution?
No, we don't have that resolution.
That's what the in-house counsel, Philip Stern, said.
What is
There was another point then. Where's that point that she made about their?
What's her name again? It's it's Donna Stephanie. It was Elizabeth Baker and
See, but now I've gone blank. That's not right.
Yeah.
It's menopause. I'm gonna blame that. Somebody said to use that as the answer.
Elizabeth Baker. It wasn't Donna.
No, come
on.
But whoever, the sister, her name is in here. I'm going to find her name right now.
Her name is in there.
No, it's not. If it was, I'd find it. Maybe she spoke, some other time, but not in this segment of the meeting. Not in this segment.
I was reading through it, and I did see, or maybe it's Elizabeth Baker then.
Elizabeth Baker said something.
Maybe it was Elizabeth Baker.
Her name is Maureen Jones.
No, she didn't say anything then.
She said nothing.
No, she didn't say anything.
Not at least in this part of the discussion. So apparently whoever wrote this article and pulled out just this segment from the board.
No, she didn't say anything.
Yeah,
what was
Elizabeth
Baker?
Segment of the meeting. Yeah. And they're just posting it now. A week later. Must have.
Yeah, but let the bunglers continue to
just look at the.
Let the bunglers continue to do the bungling.
Well, it looked like it was resolved that Joanna was not, or the auditor would not come back. It does make it seem like they're not being transparent.
They're not. Really and truly. If listen, it doesn't cost you anything, right? What is the big deal? Say, all right, we can't get you back in person. Let's do it via a video conference call. Let's just do it. And just ask the question, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. So from the time you decide that we don't want to do it, you leave people's perception.
Yeah, you now makes it sound sus,
Yeah, you have something to hide. You hide in something. That somebody might have done something behind closed doors. No, you got to hide it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Wright responded. I'm pulling these out not in the right order, of course. Wright responded, I'll probably have some question to ask about different lines in the budget and some other things I don't see. It's a big deal unless somebody is trying to hide something. I remember the auditor coming a few weeks ago, and he sat at that table, and he said we had too much money, and we didn't listen, and the state came in and took that money. Wright was referring to the state of New Jersey's move in 2010 to close a budget gap by requiring that districts use their surplus funds instead in lieu of state aid.
Yep. So you want us to go to a sort of relevant story?
You're saying this story I just got excited over is not relevant?
No, it's relevant. No, sorry, it's relevant.
To this.
Yeah,
Okay,
related. Yeah, relevant. I use relevant.
Relevant is fine.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying this story was irrelevant.
Sometimes you see, you question my intelligence. I don't get upset with that. You question my intelligence. I don't. Oh no, you question my intelligence.
Oh, you're bungling. Let's go.
Yeah. A bunch of bunglers. You got. Yeah, this Anselm calling us bunglers. So be transparent. Be open.
Transparency. This is this
transparency and accountability.
Okay.
And if it doesn't cost you anything, no harm, no foul. You ever heard that one?
Yes, I have.
All right, no harm, no foul. Joanna Wright would say that because she was a long time, Hall of Fame coach. She said no harm, no foul. But anyway, let's go over to South Orange. Maybe we got another circus over there too. Maybe this is the Soleil. It's Soleil. Village Administrator Barry Lewis said at a Monday South Orange Board of Trustees meeting that he will have a revised ordinance regarding the potential subdivision of the Orange Lawn Tennis Club property ready for the Planning and Zoning Committee meetings Tuesday night, March the 10th. Tuesday gone by. Trustee Senior Column asked for the ordinance to be discussed by the Planning and Zoning Board as it will be in effect a new ordinance. The Board of Trustees then plan to review the revised ordinance at its next committee meeting on March the 23rd. Lois announced that the South Orange Board of Trustees was withdrawing the ordinance as previously written at the March 2nd Planning Board meeting. Lois said in a phone interview that last week, in response to concern voiced by residents who live near Orange Lawn, the trustees reviewed the ordinance and decided it was too ambiguous in terms of how large a swath and which part of the 16-acre property could be zoned for planned residential construction, like townhouses, versus how much could be zoned for recreational use. Neighbors raised concern and have very thoughtful comments and inputs, said Lewis. The planners took a look and questions were raised, he said. It was a credit to the board that they decided the ordinance should be pulled and revised. The way the ordinance was drafted, if Orange Lawn ever closed or sold the property, there will be nothing to prevent the developer from building more townhouses than the 27 or so South Orange Lawn owners are currently proposing, said Lewis. One option the trustees are considering is to make it clear that the 5-acre part of property currently zoned for recreation could only be used in the future for recreation or for single-family homes, not for townhomes. The Village Green will follow up on this issue and report on further developments. Again, they're selling it out. we got a tennis court. Listen.
I've only been there once.
They have
16 acres. That's pretty big.
It's pretty big up there. It's like, we could make some money.
I wonder if they'll get a pilot.
They might get 2 pilots. They might get the Orange Lawn plane and get 2 pilots. Hey, listen. So how could we get a pilot in South Orange and Maple? What do we have to do to get a pilot?
Because our planes don't warrant
what
such
do we have
a thing.
To do? Come on.
You had automatic.
Does a helicopter have a pilot?
Yes, helicopters have pilots.
So why don't we get a helicopter? They could give us a 30-year abatement.
On our taxes?
We could fly over South Orange or we could fly over Maple.
Here's my payment in lieu of taxes.
This is getting to be hilarious. Almost every day is something. The lawn tennis people wants to.
Lawn people, not the lawn tennis. Go ahead.
Yeah, we call it lawn tennis. The lawn tennis people want to get into property development now. Why do you think they want to get into that? Money.
Right, of course.
It's money, and it's not going to cost them all that taxes. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't doubt if that once they put up those townhouses, maybe they might pay less taxes now because they're going to get these pilots.
But I wonder if, like, South Orange, like, how many Those happen with the other things.
Oh, come on. They got that big one on First Street. You see that monstrous thing they're putting up there? That on First Street? They got pilot. And we discussed that before. Remember we talked about that? And